All right, welcome to True Tempo. It's Tuesday once again, and I've been quite busy with work life and family life, etc. But I've still had time to think a bit. I haven't had the time to play. And Eternal Weekend Europe is coming up this weekend, so it's uh, it's super interesting to follow the metagame. And what I'm seeing is a very open metagame with almost no Reanimator or other graveyard decks. People were trying just after the BNR to make Reanimator work, but it doesn't look like it's really a thing. But tempo decks are like like the big chunk of the metagame now, especially Izzet Cutter, but also a lot of Dimir Tempo preying on Izzet. And then there's just a bunch of different decks, different kinds of combo, some Eldrazi, Cloudpost, yeah, everything lands, and so that I think that makes it pretty hard. I was thinking like if I were to play Eternal Weekend, I can't go, but if I were able to go, my first thought was playing Dimir, the kind of the deck I played last week against Crucible of Words. Dimir because it preys on Izzet, and Thoughtseize is nice when it's an open metagame with a bunch of different decks. But then when I looked a bit closer, it doesn't look like this. Like an enormous amount of blue decks, and you kind of want that for your bowmasters to be good. And as well, it's kind of when you're facing a lot of different decks, it's nice to just be able to have an aggressive draw, like being your normal draw being something aggressive that can kind of go over the top or underneath any deck. Whereas the Dimir deck is it's kind of a mid-range tempo deck. It doesn't have the same like speed towards finishing the game as Izzet. So I think it's kind of it's a bet. If you think that you're gonna face blue decks all day and most of them are gonna be Izzet, then Dimir is definitely the choice. But if you don't think that's the case, and you, for instance, you're gonna face the new green Badger Mole Cup, I think it's the name, the 2/2 that is played now in Cradle Control. That and the cat Madu cats and all kinds of stuff that are not necessarily blue. Well, then I slightly prefer being Izzet. So this is Izzet with a splash, and I'm running back the drown in the Lochs from last week, and I'm maxing out. So this is definitely experimental, but I think that one of the things that is true for the format is that you have combo decks with Baragorth in the sideboard. That's kind of the it seems to work for Doomsday, Cloudpost, um, the Reanimator strategies that people will be playing show and tell with black. There's a lot of different decks that are just slotting in for 3 or 4 Baragorth in the sideboard, so they're better against Izzet. And I think one of the best ways, well, in the current metagame, I think it is the best way of facing that is Drown in the Loch, because you can counter their combo piece or shoot their Baragorth with the same card. And before, like some weeks or months ago, I was very happy with Molten Collapse, but that doesn't do anything against the combo. It's only good against Chalice. So I made room for one copy. It's very nice against, yeah, Eldrazi, Chalice. Just another way to get rid of Baragorth as well in some matchups, but I don't plan to board in these in a lot of Wasteland matchups. They're mostly for At least the Drown and the Lochs. They're for combo matchups. So I only have one Underground Sea to support, the Snuff Out and these 4 cards, and I think that's okay. Some notable exclusions cards I'm not playing is more than one graveyard hate piece. I feel like the graveyard is something we can control with other cards. I don't expect people playing a lot of Oops at Eternal Weekend. Cage is nice against the Green Sun Zenith decks, and if you happen to face a Reanimator deck, but I think you can easily go all day and not need it. So I am making some space for other cards like that by removing that second or third card. And the part of that is that some of these unfair decks, they have a juke in the sideboard, and here is the time for Drown in the Luck to shine in those matchups. So that's kind of the experiment. It can definitely fail, and I'm going down to 2 consigns because it's like Forge is on a downswing, and I think Forge is like most people play a lot of consigns still, and Forge is getting beaten up. It's also getting beaten up by the green decks, I think, with recurring wastelands and such. Against Eldrazi, it's okay, but you don't always have the luxury to hold up mana for that. You have to be aggressive. So I'm okay cutting 1. So I have plenty of answers for Chalice that also serve as cutter removal in Abrade and like Baragorth removal in Collapse. And yeah, that's the deck. Hydroblast Abrade. I'm covered against in the mirror. I'm not well built to face Dimir, but I try to. My plan is just board out 3 cards for Pyroblast, Negations, and 2 Delvers, and hope to be the better tempo deck and win before their better late game cards take over. Yeah, I think that's enough. This is what I'd bring, and let's see in some games how we do here. All right. This today I'm not gonna check my opponents. I'm just gonna play as if I'm at Eternal Weekend, and I don't know what the opponent is playing. I'm gonna keep this. This is my small Eternal Weekend experience. Well, maybe I can catch the stream. I hope so. So this hand is well, now it's much better. Polluted Delta, that's a bit scary. That might mean Bowmaster, but I won't be playing too scared. I'm just gonna play the Chandler, so have Cutter Bauble next turn, and let's see how it goes. They're gonna Surveil. No, okay. So is that a push coming up? I would be happy. That means they don't have Bowmaster. Ah, okay. Nice. So we are facing a Reanimator deck of some kind. So that's a 6/4 trample. And they have a cutter as well. Interesting. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Okay, but they don't have a follow-up. So let's see if they have a Daze for our cutter shenanigans. They don't. That's awesome. Okay. Do I like this? My next turn, I might get wasted, but I don't really care. Yeah, I don't want a Wasteland. I want to find gas. gas to keep the cutter rolling. They have a careful study coming up. Okay. It's scary, but yeah. I like to draw some counterspell. All right. They go for a ponder. Okay, so they don't have what they need, as in Reanimate and Atraxa. That is quite. I'd like to see their list, how they fit Cutter into a Reanimator strategy. That's impressive. My goal is now to beat them down enough. Like I can get the Delirium and make a friend. I can beat them down a lot next turn. Making Reanimate almost mute. 3, 6, 8 damage next turn. I think they could have a push. Do they have the space for push in that deck? I don't know. I'm gonna lead on Bolt here. See if I can get a good card on top for Ponder. That's nice. That's very nice. I'm gonna keep that. And I'm just gonna play around Daze here. Actually should have tapped here, so I play around Wasteland on a future turn. Okay, and some bad cards. But having the force here is awesome. And they cycle an Oliphant. So now we're, yeah, and their cutter is, like, defensive cuttering is not very strong. Because I will have, well, depends, maybe they can, okay, am I letting them do this? I think so. I think that's fine. They don't even bin a big one. Okay. Now they have a looting, sure. So I won't be making prowess. I won't be triggering prowess. Okay, Thoughtseize. I mean, sure. I don't mind. I think they are just going for info. Take that, sure. No, this is gonna be small on, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So the one cage and I think they're gonna keep in reanimates for sure when you have that elephant, and so the elephant I can hydroblast. That's pretty nice. A braid is for cutter. I don't know how many cutter they play, but a braid is gonna be fine regardless, I think. I'm sure they play Baragoyf, so I'm interested, but maybe not in the full package. Snuff Out might be okay. This is quite quite tough to like know their numbers. Are they playing bunch of cutters or just a few? Like Pyroblast is probably good. A lot of cards that might be good. Maybe I can cut Dazes. I think that's okay. They must play Tamiyo for sure, but I think I can cut Bolts. And they look like a deck that you kind of want to Wasteland, but they do have all those Oliphants, so maybe on the draw that's not super interesting. I have two cards too many. Brazen is not amazing. Not amazing. Okay, think I'm gonna cut a Bauble. It's tough. Okay, so I have not a lot of answers for Baragoyf with this setup. I think I'm gonna cut another Bauble. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I have, for my one Underground Sea, I have 2 Drowns and 1 Snuff Out. And I don't think they're playing a lot of Wastelands or any with that mana base. Badlands, mana base. Okay, looks fine. Okay, getting ready for a Oliphant. And I'm playing Chandler. Delver is probably my blue card. Oliphant is have some removal, like 3 hard removal for it, so it's not that bad. And I can even, if I get a cutter token, I can block and bolt. And who knows, maybe Drown can take it late game. Here's the Reanimate. So, how afraid am I of this? It does hit hard. I think I should force not take too much of a risk. Okay. Now I can, let's see what I draw. That's nice. I was actually just about to say that it was maybe the wrong pitch, the Delver, because Brainstorm is it's like it's not an optimal play this early. My few lands, etc. I was thinking that Brainstorm was my way to find an answer for their dangerous stuff, but actually the Delver and Wasteland combined was pretty sweet. Then again, I have a cutter and now I can't play cutter, so that's also very medium, but I think that was worth a discussion before doing it, before making the choice of pitching Delver. Drawing the Bauble was the perfect, of course. Now I'm not so afraid of another Reanimate because I have the pressure on the... Okay, they have a cutter with nothing. And they have 2 Badlands, so to speak. Huh. I think I'm gonna Brainstorm to see if I find something that can make me double spell here. And then I'm definitely wasting the C. Okay. I won't be double spelling. I will be double forcing. Hiding the Tamiyo, I guess. Well, I might want to bolt next turn. But it's not very likely. I'm just going for the big one. See, they have 3 cards, 1 land that doesn't cast cantrips. And I have double force, but just a measly 2/2. Okay. They have their mana. Alright, I'm gonna let them go down in cards. Probably just playing my Tamiyo next turn. Okay. 1 card left. My hand is pretty solid here. Take the drown. Okay. Well, it's a unique card, so makes sense. Yeah. They have 1 card. I don't really want to trade. Ponder, that's pretty good. Don't really want to trade. That might be wrong. Okay, I have to force here, I think. Tamiyo is kind of my way back in charge. Okay, yeah. Now I am gonna trade, I think. I feel kind of behind, unless like I want time to get Tamiyo advantage going. Okay. Yeah, I knew about that, but question is the timing. Feel like I should. Should I save it? I think I'm gonna save it. If they play a Tamiyo, if I get like a chance to double spell. Okay, now they have a cutter. Okay, now I'm just gonna preserve my life total. It's tough, but having double cutter can get pretty crazy, pretty fast. See if I can find a Bauble here. That would be sweet. Wasteland is not bad. Not bad at all. And a land to draw a card. Next turn. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. See if they take a break from playing Magic. That's what I was expecting. And I'm gonna draw a card in the upkeep, just in case they have, well, I'm not gonna. If they have Thoughtseize, I don't want them to. I don't think they have the room for Bowmaster in this deck. So actually, I was thinking about playing around Bowmaster, but I think it's much better playing around Thoughtseize. Alright. So I can get rid of one. It's definitely worth it, especially if I can get a token as well. Okay. How aggressive do I go here? I think I go aggressive. What if they animate? Well, if they reanimate, they go to almost no life. So I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, this is nice. Okay, looting. Going to one card. Maybe they can get Cutter. But is that a Cutter on the defense? Definitely is. Like they need, I don't know what they need. Baragorf, that's what they need. Reanimate Baragorf. The Baragorf and the tracks are in the bin. Okay, okay, scary. And another Cutter. What a deck. So I can ping like one if I equip. I think I just want to draw a card. They have 0 cards. Hydroblast. That's awesome. Because I can make a nice trade here. They're gonna block, and I can shoot the Cutter. Yeah. Get some damage in. I am only afraid of Baragorf. Reanimate on Baragorf. They have 0 cards. Let's see. I should have, by the way, fetched a black source here. That's, well, they're gonna waste it, but I should have thought about it. Okay, nothing. They fetch because what do they have here? Ah, looting. Looting from the bin. Okay. Sure. Sure. Now I can equip and put them to 3. So that's pretty good. Equip Tamiyo, that is. And then reanimate on Baragorf is not a thing. That's also pretty good. That's also better than Baragorf. Now, I don't think they have outs. Animate Dead, I guess, on the Traxa is an out. And here it is. Okay. Nice. So I'm happy I have a Murktide in play at least. Let's see what they find. Enemy dead. They find enemy dead. That's scary because then they can also get a Barragoyf. Wow. uh, so I need I need something. I need something. They don't have force. They don't play force after board. They have Archon they can bin. Wow. I'm toast actually. I'm close to toast. I can draw a red blast to get rid of a Traxa and force a block. Wow, amazing. They definitely have plenty of graveyard shenanigans post board. That is impressive. A braid. That does nothing. I can draw a card. Murktide. Huh. Well, they got me. I'm just gonna attack, see what they do. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna concede. That's impressive. Well, what do I mean that okay, they have no one drops. They don't have any Tamiyos. My build does nothing. They have cutters. Now my Dazes look pretty good against the cutter. Against Animate Dead. They don't have Wastelands, so I can safely. They have Wastelands, sorry. I can't safely fetch, but I kind of need to have answers for Barragoyf. Need to have answers for Barragoyf. Snuff Out is only for the Oliphant. I think it's a bit bad. So their deck is kind of they don't have any interaction with my graveyard. Wasteland should be decent against them. I like it. They do have the Oliphant, so they have maybe a lot of sources of mana in their deck. Yeah, maybe I'm just not playing that game. Let's try like this. That is quite the brew they have going. Enemy dead strong. Okay, that looks good. And I just need to find more mana. Forcing the early Oliphant, that was a bit tough. Thoughtseize, sure. So I can proceed to waste them if nothing else interesting happens. See what they take. Brainstorm or Daze, yeah. So keeping Wasteland and Daze is awesome. Okay. A lot of pressure. And like their Oliphant Reanimate lines, they are getting like quickly out of like spinning out of control. Like taking 6 is like they have to hope that I never get Delirium and do it next turn. Otherwise, it's just not very strong. But I might not get Delirium. See if I can find a fetch to make Drown a good card. Active card. They bin a Reanimate, yeah. Already at 13 and I don't even have Delirium. Yeah, it's tough for them. So eluding, I think this means they don't even have the land. I'm gonna protect, am I gonna protect my red here? I think so. I want to get Delirium. I really want a Daze, and I also don't want them to get a Beargoyf in the bin. Forces. I wanna get Delirium. That is nice. Okay, they don't have any more mana as I sniffed out. So now we can go ahead and brainstorm to our heart's desire. Cutter is in the bin. And now we just need, okay, the land is, I'm gonna keep that because it's my drown mana. Nice. And I don't expect that they can waste me. Like they won't have that luxury. So I don't need a braid. And I don't need volcanic. I'm gonna ponder, looking for basically Daze and Force. No, that's not Daze and Force. That's Force. Yep. If they're looting again, I think I just force it. Okay, that's enough. Awesome. Yeah, aggression is good against a deck like that, and we didn't even need the Grafticus Cage. Sweet. See you for the next round. Alright, round 2 of this small league. I'm only going to play 3 rounds today. I think that's enough to get a feel. And I am on the draw with a finish hand. Being optimistic that we don't get wasted. Island, huh. Island Ponder. So some kind of combo or control deck. Could be a Delver deck that is on one land and is a bit scared. They shuffle, okay. one land and they didn't find the second one. Well, let's get going. This Wasteland might be good later on. They're gonna daze me. I will definitely daze back. That both protects my Volcanic and from their potential Wasteland. And of course it gives me a threat, which is sweet. Delver, I mean, drawing a Delver is pretty good, but it's also very good for Delirium, so I'm gonna bin it. Just can't underestimate some Delirium action early and often. I love to draw cantrips. Brazen is probably bad. Island and more cantrips. Okay. So if I kept the Delver, I would just be drawing that and playing it. And yeah, I mean that's okay, but finding a cantrip, or I just need a fetch to get Delirium. Fetch would be fine. And more Chandlers. Dazes would be fine. Probably don't need Force, but it might be okay. This Murktide down the line will be potentially good. We still don't know their other color. Could be Dimir, could be Izzet. But we do almost know that it's a tempo deck. Now they're happy. So if I play my Volcanic, I might just get wasted. But we can also bolt, so it doesn't look like they're in a great position to be wasting me. And they don't know that we don't have any more lands that produce mana, colored mana. Okay. So I think I'm gonna bolt just to get a Delirium trigger. Trying to find a land. Cutter I don't want. See if they have a Delver coming up, or Tamiyo. Yeah, Tamiyo. Okay, well. If they have a Brainstorm to flip, then our beatdown swap. Not so. They're gonna end, because then we're gonna start attacking Tamiyo. But yeah, we need a Volcanic basically. Brazen we can also ignore it maybe. And bounce it before it goes ultimate. Double Bolt is a lot of, that is a Dimir land. Okay. Playing against Dimir Tempo. And that was their best land with Reanimate. Okay. Playing against Reanimate. Some kind of Reanimate strategy. Well, not much to say. Just attacking, and nothing else changes. We're definitely advantaged. Well, that's a bit much. If they just play a land and Murktide It doesn't take them much, is what I mean, for them to be in the driver's seat. But with double bolts, theoretically only need one more attack in and a land to play these. Their reanimates are bad now. So what kind of... Maybe they play Katara? I didn't mention this in the... Okay, now they want to block. I didn't mention Katara in the deck tech, but I think that is a card for Reanimator and not for much else. I don't really have faith in it. So, are they gonna Brainstorm? Nope, they're just jumping. Okay, wow. Can we draw that Volcanic? I mean, they're gonna waste it, but if we can get off at least one bolt. Here is a Murktide. No. Bargoyf. That's GG's. Oculus. Okay. Well, I think that's also GG's. Hmm. So what's the chance that I can bolt them? That they use their Wasteland? Hmm. Like, I think I should just... try and bolt them. And not bolt the Oculus. I think that's the play. That's like a very low chance of me winning here, but okay, let me just think this through. If I bolt them now, they have nothing. We play on, but they waste me. They waste me. They can reanimate this in theory. Like, what I'm hoping is that they use this Wasteland to play something. And then I draw another land, and that enables 3 bolts to the dome. That is my hope. I feel like chances of winning in like going toe to toe with the Oculus is smaller. Both are small, but maybe they play another one, and we get there. Or if they can't play another one, it costs 6 cards. Could they play something? It's not likely, right? Regardless, I need to draw another one. That's obvious. And even if they waste here, I can still win drawing just one like one fetch, and they have to have nothing, of course. Okay. Wow, they let me upkeep. They let me untap, is what I meant. That's very friendly of them. Friendly indeed. Do they have a force now? They have so many cards. Force of negation. Okay. Doesn't do much. Yeah, I'm dead. That is it. Okay, Reanimator. Well, Wastelands. Maybe I should be playing 2 Underground Seas, but I don't know how many Wastelands you find in these kind of combined combo and Baraglyph decks. I don't know. Pyroblast, Drown, Cage. They have Tamiyos. I'm not sure that I want forces. I'm gonna consider that though. Don't need Wastelands against their Dimir. Stuff. Think I can cut a bolt. Just get a couple of forces in. I'd like one more. Brazen is not really what's up. Okay. So drown. Well, let's see how it feels in a matchup like this. It's kind of tempo, but they can't. We haven't seen much of their unfair package. Maybe it's not really unfair. Maybe it's just some reanimates lurking around. Okay, that's sweet. Sweet indeed. So I have potential Cutter Snuff Out next turn if they play Tamiyo, for instance. Being aggressive is a good way to beat reanimation. And okay, nothing. And Bergov is not so scary when they're on the draw. Okay, well now I'm just gonna get, since they don't have a creature, I don't see the reason to get my valuable Underground Sea. Just gonna play it like this. This does mean I can't Snuff Out and Wasteland next turn. They're gonna Daze me. I'll be okay with that trade since the Cutter is not okay. Looking so good. Me not having cantrips, not having a Bauble now. Yeah, Cutter is not always extremely reliable. I'm not the biggest fan. Okay. But it is a decent way to grind. So that was, oh, Baraglyph in the bin. I'm scared. If they can reanimate that now, or at any point. Another one. Scary. Awesome. Let's find Drown. Or a Murktide Channeler. Can't say no to the Channeler, right? That's pretty sweet. And a Murktide after that. So even though, wow, they force. Okay. That means my Murktide will be good. Will be playable, that is. Not very good, just a 4/4. Keeping a... I can fetch... Okay, nice. That I am bolting, probably. In case they play a Murktide. Well, let's see. In case they play a Murktide, that would be tough. I think I'm gonna... Yeah, bolt. The question is Daze. The question is Daze. I think I shouldn't be afraid of Daze. I think I should just eat it if they have a Daze, another Daze on the draw. Like, it will set them back a lot, so... Okay. They force, they're on 2 cards. With Katara. Is this Tamiyo so good? Is this so good? I think I'm just ignoring it now. Like, I'm more afraid of Murktide. I'm not even afraid of Barragoyf getting reanimated now, because I have 8 in the air, I can snuff out Tamiyo. Yeah, so if they spend their mana on anything else but Murktide, then, well, I think they kind of need removal, is what's up. Like Brainstorm, and I snuff out. So they can't diminish my attacking forces. Otherwise, if they did reanimate, they would go to 6, and, well, I have 6, so it's actually mute. But now they can't play any scary creature. And no Surveil. They need Animate Dead. And I don't know what they need. Something they don't have. Right? Is there any card that gets them out here at 1 life? So, what did we learn? Nothing really. Plenty of Barragoyfs is what we learned. Maybe I should bring in Molten Collapse just as one more way to interact with that awful card. That is extremely clunky. I mean, cut a Daze and just accept that I'm getting dazed. Yeah, it's okay. I like these two first rounds. Like, they definitely make me want a second Underground Sea, because then I can sideboard this in with Serenity and many more matchups. But my thinking was, and to some extent still is, that I wouldn't be facing a lot of Wastelands alongside Berghoff, but maybe that's just wrong. Yeah, maybe the second Underground Sea will make just open up so I can play these against normal Dimir tempo as well, even though it's not exciting. Like, Drown in the Log is good when you're shooting or countering something that costs ideally 3 or more. It can be okay at 2. Then you're like at parity mana-wise, and you had the flexibility inherent in the card. But like against the Dimir tempo, they're mostly a 2-drop deck and 1-drop, so it's not extremely interesting. But of course, getting rid of Berghoff is just clutch. Fine hand, of course. And they mulligan. Mulligan and do nothing, so no Tamiyo. Okay, I'm happy drawing that. I assume they play 2 to 3 Katara, and that's of course a card I'd like to bolt. Not really Daze, but bolting is perfect. Okay, they don't surveil, they have a Brainstorm, they have a push. I'm gonna accept that. Dazing here on the draw is just, on a 1-drop, is too bad. I prefer just having faith in my Brainstorm to deliver more action. So they have Berghoffs and maybe still Oculus. We could have bottled them out, of course, but they might have a bunch of 3-drops in their deck. Making this Daze like better down the line. Happy to draw Delver, of course, so I don't have to Brainstorm. Another push, okay. It is what it is. They don't have a lot of cards. With that mulligan and being on the play. Might have Dazes in their deck. Dazes that are soon very bad. Like, I don't have any 3-drops, so their Dazes are pretty poor. At this point, I wouldn't hate drawing a Wasteland and a 1-drop. Do they have Bowmaster Daze? They have Brainstorm, okay. So one of these has to fetch a underground sea, but I'd like to wait until I have a target for my drown or collapse. Getting a Cajun would probably be pretty good as well. Okay, that's the Wasteland, but no threats. I think I'm just gonna keep a land on top in case they waste me. And if they don't waste me, I'm gonna get that Surveil. So this is pretty sweet in the sense that we're up cards. We need a threat, of course, to really get somewhere. Okay. Yep, and that's why that Wasteland was so good. But I'm still afraid of them playing Reanimate next turn. More Barragoyfs. Don't really want that. Are they gonna Daze the Brainstorm here? I don't think so. Okay, well, scary. Gonna put back a bolt and a land, and I'm gonna ponder. So there is a nice Murktide. I think they're gonna reanimate this one. I guess I just double bolt if that happens. With Brainstorm into double bolts. Yeah, something like that. I'd like to draw the Murktide next turn around Daze. Okay, this is a tight game. Maybe I just get to Daze another Barragoyf? No, I don't. Two cards in hand. And this is looking like maybe the Oculus. I need to read a... Okay. Or nothing. Bowmaster? Second main Oculus. Explosives. Wow. What a gift. What a gift. Now, of course, they could have an answer to my Murktide. Let's see. Brainstorm. Just gonna make it as big as I can. One card that could be Daze. In theory, I think I'm countering a cantrip here with the Pyroblast. I have them on a 2-turn clock with the bolts. Okay, Bowmaster gone. One card. Okay, maybe they just don't have anything. Why are they playing all the lands? Because it's Force of Will, maybe? Well, I'm countering that one. Pretty sweet when Pyroblast interacts with the shenanigans with the graveyard. All right, well, another graveyard deck and another one down. That's awesome. Yeah, maybe one underground seed is not enough, but let's see. Let's play the third and last game. All right, the third and last round. I win the die roll, and that's an easy-ish keep. Looking for threats and a second land with this ponder. And not looking for more counter spells. Okay, that one is fine. When it's not a pitch spell. Please don't waste me. Cloudpost. Ah. What do you know? Double Wasteland seems good. Just need a Chandler or Delver on the top, please. Okay, that will definitely do. This bowl is probably doing nothing except feeding the Murktide. But this Brainstorm is... I think I'm gonna play the Brainstorm now end of turn. So I can ideally find a 1-drop. And like any 1-drop or, yeah, Volcanic is sweet. This Dimir Post is pretty bad. I think that I'm just playing my Volcanic this turn and wasting something else next turn. Maybe I can... Yeah, let's see. I'm definitely bolting. Yeah, okay. That gives me my 5 cards from Murktide. And that is just an awesome start to this matchup. With infinite backup. They pitch, so it's the blue post. And I am pitching like this. And that is a 3-turn clock. They really need 4 mana for most of their good plays. Like they can Karn. They can play what's the stock up at 3, which is probably worth the Daze, but let's see. Okay, I have the luxury of being able to Daze and Force. Yeah, this is extremely well, like a clinic in a good mix of spells in this matchup, lands and spells. They might have a Costlix command. No. Okay, and smooth sailing. Okay, sweet. And we saw the Underground Sea. So Barraglyphs are incoming. Third matchup in a row. And this is, at least this is the perfect example of a matchup where where they don't have Wasteland, so we can get a 1 Underground Sea and safely proceed to drown everything we see. Now, they are either on Flute or Chalice. I think most likely they're on Flute, because that's what Delthar recommends in his guide on the deck. Now, let's see. Bolt, Snuff Out. Like, they can have a Hull Breacher here or there, or Tishana's Tidebinder. There are like targets. But basically, what we want to do is waste them. That's why I'm considering a Braid here, because it covers both Flute and Chalice. Like, if we can't waste them, then we're gonna lose the game pretty fast, most of the time. Tamiyo is not awesome. It's too slow. Brazen is kind of in between a Drown and a Braid. I think it's too poor, but I think I'm gonna cut it. And I can cut a Bauble. And I could cut a Daze on the draw. That or a Cutter. I think I'm gonna cut a Cutter. Most of the time, like turn 2, I prefer having some of this up. Ideally, I want to just play one of these threats and protect. Okay, well, I can live with that Wasteland and Surveil to get the ball rolling. Bauble to cycle. Okay. So they can play. Like they play the weakest land first. But this is also a land that can play Barragoyf pretty fast. Let's see what they draw next turn. Planar Nexus. I think I'm just gonna, since I have the force, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna waste something else. And I guess I can get my Underground Sea, since I have the Falls waiting. And here's the Drown. Okay. So I would be drawing one, like I don't really want another land. I think I'm gonna ship this. Okay. Okay, 2 mana. And now I can go ahead and waste. Could also wait. And hold up Pyroblast. Can counter most of what they would play next turn. I think I'm gonna do that. Just say go. And get a good Brainstorm. Three mana. Okay, so we have a bit of everything. Let's get rid of that one. And maybe just the other land. Well, maybe this Abrade is looking pretty bad. Getting the land might be okay. And we'll surveil. Desperately need a threat. Okay, there it is. Now waste them first, so they can't Coslic's command my 1-drop. And Underground Sea looking pretty bad with the Pyroblast for sure. That is for sure, but now it's, yeah, pretty soon, not yet, but pretty soon Barragoyf will be covered. They do need some cards in the graveyard before that's a thing. But now we have the classic threat and infinite counter spells enabled. Do we go looking for Consign? If they play a Nexus, they have 6 mana. Guess I can wait. But maybe now's the good time. Then I should do it with this one. Okay. What I really want is Consign as well. Well, here it is. Awesome. Okay, well, let's just draw Consign right away, and then happy to draw the Brainstorm afterwards. I'm gonna protect. I don't think they have removal, but I'm definitely protecting my Chandler. I can just draw the Brainstorm and Brainstorm their end of turn. Get rid of the Bauble with the trigger. Drown is not live at doing much of anything. That is true. And like Consign is so valuable. I feel like unless I find another one, I feel like forcing. Let's Brainstorm first with this one. Okay, I have too many drowns. Gonna force pitching a Daze and just put back 2 drowns in the deck. Maybe a Daze back in the deck. Daze is looking pretty bad. Because their high end has a trigger, it's Ugin. And I'm gonna, okay. Yes, in the graveyard. I should have fetched. I will fetch before the next one. I'll fetch now, actually. I'm happy having drowns somewhere in the deck. And they only have 2 cards, which is a problem. I can Pyroblast in the air. No, what can I do? Actually need to find I need to find like a Wasteland or yeah. Drown in the lock. Not like this. I need to waste them and then I can shoot it and then I'll be here's the force. Ooh. Not like this. Well, the force is good. At least I can, let's see. I can trade and they'll just get some life and play the Murktide and we'll just move on. And then from here, from here I'll be able to shoot with Drown. Let's see. We'll be attacking. But the thing is now they can just play Ugin and I have nothing to say. So maybe I should have consigned. It's tough. I should have thought about the fact that I would be like not able to drown that turn. Can also just take. There's a decent chance they don't hit much. I can also just take it. If I take it and they find I'm just gonna take it and shoot it afterwards. Let's see what they find. Nothing. Awesome. Let's see if they have Ugin. The ring. Okay, let's see if they have force. Don't want that. Okay, awesome. We are live. Let's shoot this. Oops. Before they untap to like a hardcast force or something. And now I have so much in the air that another Baraglyph is not enough. So they didn't play, like their mana is not awesome. They don't have a lot of mana here. They need a boost. And they didn't find it. Okay. Well, I played maybe a bit poorly in that turn where I let Baraglyph well, I consigned. I didn't consign the Cossacks command. That was maybe I should have thought more about that. But awesome, and I did think it showed. Drowned in the Loch. It was yeah. We played against Baraglyph all the time, and yeah. This might be not the perfect build, but I think it's pretty close to what is a good idea bringing to the table. I'm just gonna close up in 2 secs. All right, closing thoughts. Yeah, so if I had more time, I would test and tweak the numbers to see if it makes sense to add a second underground sea. But I'm confident that Drown and a bit of Collapse is a sweet addition to Izzet. Snuff Out is there for Tamiyos and Murktides especially, but also the green decks. I'm pretty afraid of those, pretty scared of those. But I hope you enjoyed the 3 matches and the deck tech, and let me know if you choose to play Drown in the Loch at Eternal Weekend. I'd love to see if I can make a splash, so to say, with that bit of inspiration. And regardless, have a nice week and see you next Tuesday.